The road to BlizzCon continues.
There's no way to save it. There's absolutely no way to save it. It's going to fall. Brings that down. He's going to take the fight straight.
He is dead cold and through in first place.
Is he happy about that?
So far, the position's going to break down this, but it's a great set of the storms coming from the right-hand side here, and he gets right in close.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League Grand Finals weekend. I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to get trolled at the start of the show by Carmack, inevitably at the weekend, but it's fine. He'll get Dimaga shouts going out all the way through the weekend, I'm sure. A fantastic weekend of StarCraft 2 already started this morning. Look away now if you don't want any spoilers. Turn the mute button on right now. I warned you. Innovation this morning became the GSL champion in Korea, and Sue became the Silver Surfer yet again. Very sad for our friend Sue. 5 times now in the tournaments, he's now finished in second place, 4 of which have been in the consecutive GSL finals. It also meant that there was a little bit of a change going on in terms of who could qualify and who couldn't qualify. So I'm going to wrap that up for you at the start of the show with our good friend DeMuslim, who is waiting for me. Ben, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Red Eye. Thank you.
DeMuslim, everyone. They just need to wake up a little bit. They'll warm up as we go along. It's fine. So how are you doing?
Really, really well. I just moved to Sweden very recently, and I started practicing an absolute bucket load. Not enough to make it to here, but having a good time anyway.
Good, yeah, good. We saw you in DreamHack. It was a tough game against Grubby right at the end, but it's good to see you back on the warpath again. We'd like to see you back next year if possible. It'd be good. Talking of BlizzCon, it's getting close. It's, you know, only a few weeks away now. It's getting very exciting. End of the season. And Innovation did a few players a favour this morning, but he also did some bad things for some players as well. We're gonna talk through it. Actually, let's show you the road to BlizzCon as it looks right now. Those in green on your screen are already at BlizzCon. That includes Life, who is in 14th. Looked very precarious for a while, but actually he's qualified by 25 points. That means had Jaedong or Innovation won 1 extra game at some point this year, they would be above him, which is incredible. So the 2 in yellow are Innovation and Jaedong. Now, amazingly, even though Innovation won GSL this morning, he's still not safe for those BlizzCon positions. Those 2 positions can still change. On the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see 17th down to actually 41st. All those in white cannot now go to BlizzCon, which includes, unfortunately for us in Europe, Snoot. He has not qualified for BlizzCon. YoDa also failed this morning without playing a game because he now can't get enough points to qualify in the top 16. And also alongside that, Golden also is not able to qualify for BlizzCon either. Those in orange, they've still got a shot. Pig Baby, Hero and Scarlet will all play next weekend in WCS America. And today, we'll see Bunny and 4GG. Now, the good thing I need to tell you all about is those in orange, they have a very simple mathematical equation. They have to win their regional championship. There's no other way around it. No, you don't need Die4, who's done a fabulous job, by the way, all year long of predicting who might get to BlizzCon. But you don't need him right now. It's as simple as that. Any of those 5 win, they're in BlizzCon, and Jaedong drops out. If 2 win, this is where it gets a bit confusing. If someone from those 5 in America wins next weekend, and we get 4GG or Bunny wins this weekend, neither Innovation or Jaedong will go to BlizzCon. It's a crazy end, isn't it?
It's ridiculously tight. Like up there, we did see that Snoot has dropped out, and it's a real shame because Snoot has been... Gosh.
Oh, it started already. Yeah, we thought this was going to happen in WCS Extra, but no, it started at the start of the show. It's all good.
But yeah, like up there, we saw that Snoot's dropped out, and that's a big blow for a lot of us because Snoot has been the best performing foreigner for the last year or so, like totally undoubtedly. But he just didn't make it in WCS. Didn't get past round of 32 this year. At DreamHack, he fell to Solar. I mean, he's had really, really stiff competition. But up there, 4GG, Bunny, they both have pretty decent chances. And 4GG, if things go his way, he's so good at TvT. He could play TvT all the way to the finals and probably play a Terran, given that there are 5 Terrans out of the 8 players here. So
7 Terrans in a round of 8.
7 Terrans.
That's 2 as well. Not competing, though. It's the only time the Brits ever get to the finals. Have you noticed that?
Yes. Thank you for rubbing it in.
It's the only time we ever get any far. The quarterfinals look like this. We'll start with YoDa versus MC. It's a battle of housemates and friends in that one. Golden versus Happy, which is a bit of a juxtaposed position for those two players, I guess. Bunny versus San, and 4GG in his favoured matchup of TvT against the former WCS Europe champion MMA. Just talking about those 8 players right now, we've spoken a little bit about 4GG and Bunny. Both need to win the title over the weekend. We've got quarterfinals today, semis and grand final tomorrow. But out of the 8 players, who do you fancy?
It's so close. Everybody that I've spoken to has pretty much said a different favourite. Like, the skill disparity between the best and the worst, technically, it's so close. But just looking at that grid, I do favour 4GG, actually.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, Ben goes with 4GG, but we're going to open things up with our first quarterfinal in a few moments' time. It is a fantastic matchup between 2 very good friends, as Mr. Apollo now explains.
He has his own way to play StarCraft, which is what a lot of fans like to see. He plays unlike anybody else in the scene. His aggressive tendencies, the way that he looks at StarCraft, no one can really emulate the way that MC plays. When he came to Europe, YoDa, with the support of MC, Minsik, First, the whole house of the Global Esports Management Agency, was able to rebuild his career once again. He was able to rediscover what made him a good player a few years ago. He's back on form again. The last time that MC and YoDa played against each other was the World Championship Series Round of 16 in Season 2. It was one of the most one-sided series that I've had to commentate within the World Championship Series. MC got on stage, looked at YoDa and said, "I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm the one that's been training you. It's now time for me to eliminate you from the tournament." And it wasn't difficult at all. It was very easy for MC to be able to just push YoDa aside and kick him out of the WCS.
6 against 100 of MC. MC made this look easy. GG is called.
YoDa has become more of a solid player. He's become the player that he used to be. He's back on form, he's playing well, and he's eliminating a lot of good players on his way to where he is today. The one thing that remains consistent is it's still YoDa versus MC. It's still the player who brought YoDa back to form, the player who's trained with him and lived with him. If YoDa can eliminate the fact that he's playing MC, and if he just thinks about playing another Protoss player, YoDa has a clear chance to beat him. He has the skills and the tools necessary to eliminate MC today. The problem is, when he sits on the stage and he looks across and sees his older brother, the guy who looks after him, that's the problem that YoDa will face. Just seeing MC there.
I couldn't have asked for a better quarterfinal. Start things off here in the final Premier League season of 2014. Apollo now with us again once more. We saw in the video you called him his older brother, and it's very much an apt kind of comparison. YoDa can still win this, though, but you kind of alluded to it in the video. It's very much a mind game now for him.
He has the skills, like I said before. He has the skills, he has the tools, he has everything at his disposal to beat MC today. The problem is that it's MC. They live together, they practice together. MC looks at YoDa and probably says, "You know what? You're probably doing the washing up tonight, my friend. This is mine." Yeah,
there's a rule in Korean, I think, when you go for a Korean barbecue, that the youngest has to cook, right?
The youngest, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So yeah, usually that's MC when we go out, but I guess probably YoDa
Other way around here.
When they go out, yeah. The 2 players match up against each other 4-1 in favour of YoDa in the last 5 matches. But again, you said in the video that the crucial matchup really was that 2-0 destruction of him last season. Mentally, how does he just ignore that? I mean, has he just got to face no one across the other side of the table? Has he just got not to think about that at all?
I feel like it's one of those kind of films where, trust me, wear the blindfold and just play the best you can play. It's like one of those types of...
He's Mr. Miyagi or something.
Yeah, it is, because, I mean, the really scary thing is anybody that's played MC before, you know, if you just poke around the monitor and you see MC, he's probably looking at you and he's probably poking his fingers at you as well. That's the type of player that MC is, and he'll get inside his head.
Matt Vito is just about to start. We're going to eliminate one each of these 2, because it's best of 5 now, of course, so probably Deadwing and probably Foxtrot in there. I'd imagine. Just one other thing, the BlizzCon example. We were talking about it at the start of the show. Well, actually, Catalina's gone, so we are going to see Foxtrot if it's a best of 5 and goes all the way. YoDa had an outside shot before Innovation won this morning. That's how cruel it is right now with one player winning a match or not winning a match. Now it doesn't matter to YoDa. He can't now get to BlizzCon. That removes that kind of that extra little bit of pressure there. And now it's playing for keeps now. It's playing for the title effectively.
One game at a time.
Is that going to help him?
Yes, definitely. One game at a time, one map at a time. That's the best way that YoDa has to approach this.
Yeah, absolutely. With regards to MC, he's had a great year. He's already qualified for BlizzCon. We've already said that. He's won a ton of money. He could actually surpass $500,000 prize earnings this weekend by winning WCS Europe. And we know that he's motivated by cash. So is that in the back of his mind somewhere, do you think?
He will say no. I'm going to say yes. MC's all about the money. He's, of course, the highest earning StarCraft 2 player there is. And that's a massive milestone to pass. 4 years of earning a lot of money.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrific. Some great runs this year. Is it topped off by winning WCS Europe, do you think? Or can he go further with BlizzCon on the horizon?
For MC, he always sets his goals very high and does get disappointed in himself quite a lot because he doesn't necessarily always hit them. I would say for any player that's qualified for BlizzCon, the end goal is to win BlizzCon at the end of the year for him.
Is he? Do you think his focus is elsewhere right now, or do you think he's back in the groove and he's going to make sure he does the job first in WCS Europe, or do you think he's already thinking about strategizing, figuring out who he might play in BlizzCon and how to work that?
I think he already thinks he's won this tournament, to be honest. Especially with the biggest challenge they had to face in the round of 16, which was Stardust. That was the challenge that MC had to face, was another Protoss player. He doesn't really need to think about that unless somehow Sand creeps through. I really think that this is MC's tournament. I really think he's going to win it all.
You have him in your fantasy team. I don't want to give too much away because I know you're very competitive right now with your fantasy team, right up there with the best of them. But he's in your fantasy team today.
Yes, definitely.
Who else?
I picked him and 4GG to go to the finals, pretty much. And I think that MC is going to win the whole season as well. I believe in MC because he's got his confidence back. And when he gets his confidence back, he is a world-class player.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Okay, thank you very much, Apollo. Apollo will be back at the end of the first quarterfinal, for a bit of analysis and a wrap-up. Now, though, it's time for our first quarterfinal of the day. This is the World Championship Series Premier League Season 3 Grand Finals weekend. We're going to kick off with YoDa versus MC with your commentary team of Kalaris and Todd.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Welcome to the caster's desk for series number 1 of the day. And what a series it is to start things off. MC versus YoDa. Two guys who live in the same house. And I think YoDa has to really kind of overcome some demons here to be able to take out MC.
It's funny because we say that, but he's the guy who is 4-1 against MC. You know, going back to that tournament, the very first tournament on How to the Swarm, which I guess technically is a little bit more special than that because it was still in the beta, the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. He beat MC there in the group stage before going on to win the whole thing. So 4-1 against MC. I don't think anybody quite realized what score it was between those two players. And I'm not sure what this tells us, to be honest, especially since, you know, Apollo kind of covered how one-sided their last series was. I was in that group, by the way, lost to both of them.
Sorry, man.
Just thought I'd mention that. We even saw me in that one video, looking sad and packing up my keyboard in the back. But yeah, these two, stylistically too, like you have YoDa who plays fairly standard, but who has some very special traits to his style and how he likes to play against Protoss, against an MC who's just the most unusual of Protosses and who loves to play super aggressive. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. MC here currently sits at, doing what he does best, yawning, currently sits at an 82% win ratio against Terrans. And that's quite a feat. That's 18-3 over a long period of time.
Fighting.
MC fighting. So I feel that, you know, even though YoDa technically has the winning record, yes, you've got to look at the recent results, right? And the only people he's actually lost in the WCS system is to Flash, Taser, and Innovation. That's the only 3 Terrans that have been able to trump him in the entire system. So can YoDa do it? I think it's going to be very, very difficult here. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, stylistically, you know, it's going to tell us a lot where this goes, how these two players choose to go into the series. YoDa he's known to be pretty good at pulling the boys when he has to against Colossus, but MC is the guy who doesn't go for Colossus all that often. So how does he react to that? Will MC play with his fast blink into, you know, double forge, transition into a lot of gateway units, and then later either Colossus or Templars? This could play a big role in whether he wins or loses. And the maps are going to be very important too. MC vetoed Catalina. That means we're starting here on the map pick of YoDa for the first map, which is Nimbus. A very, very, very tough map. in PvT, especially if you play Standard, which again, MC not really known for playing Standard all that often, so that's natural base. If it's taken, which I'm sure it will be, YoDa definitely going to be focused towards dropping that, doing damage here and there, and MC is going to have a good plan to overcome that.
All right, well, let's get into things then. Our first game of the day as MC, a previous WCS Europe champion, looks to move on even further here from the round of 8. As we have, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our blue Protoss. It is MC. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran representing TCM. It is YoDa.
YoDa, who's still in the running, right, for BlizzCon?
I don't think anymore.
Oh
no,
yeah, because
sadly.
he lost. Yeah, Innovation won today.
Yes.
So other than that, if Innovation hadn't won, I guess he would have had a chance. So I guess winning WCS Europe would be pretty nice for him, especially with the shape he's been in. He started playing really well at some point, like kind of out of nowhere, you know, like he was this good player, but then all of a sudden started beating a lot of very, very good players. I think mostly in the Red Bull tournaments online. He has some very impressive results there. There has been a few tournaments in which he's gone deep, but never really quite that far. So here against MC, I feel like, honestly, in this final 8, if you look at the players, pretty much any of them has a good chance of winning. So I feel like if YoDa was able to beat MC here, he could probably go all the way and do very well. And MC, he's already reverted back in terms of scouting to what he was doing a while back with scouting every single game after Gateway, just making sure he knows what's up, if he's up against a CC first, if he's up against a gas first. And yeah, so that he can know exactly how to react and what to prepare for.
Yeah, and I think overall, I mean, these guys practice with each other quite a bit. They're in the same house, you know. MC overlooks YoDa quite a lot, and I feel that a lot of that will come down to he can scout out. He can scout out to begin with, make sure his opponent isn't pulling anything super tricky, and then know exactly how YoDa's going to be playing out because he knows him so well.
Yes, I think on this map, if you don't scout and you're playing against a gas first, whatever is going to be thrown at you is going to be so much more dangerous because you don't know when it's going to come and from where it's going to come. So like if it's a medivac, you know, flying to your main or your natural, you need to be ready very differently to if you know there is a Reaper and some bio behind. So MC just plays it safe, gets lucky with the scouts, sees YoDa first, and now he's going to be able to basically get the units that he needs to defend against that Reaper, not let it scout his main, and from there tech into whatever he wants after his Nexus.
So for now, we have the command center going down here for YoDa, back at the natural. And the thing for me is that YoDa feels like, as much as the round of 8 is fantastic and really, really well stacked, YoDa is kind of one of the wild cards in my mind. I mean, when it comes to his Protoss results, yes, he beat Sand to get here. Yes, he was able to beat First to get here. But at DreamHack, it was a little bit more suspect. He lost against Patience. He lost against Littlebow in this matchup. So I think if YoDa can kind of bring a little bit of extra spice to this matchup, then maybe he can advance on. But MC has to be the definite favorite.
Yeah, you know, we've mentioned many times how these guys live together and all that, and how they used to practice a whole bunch together. I'm pretty sure that for this, they didn't practice together, and I feel like
True.
They probably turned a lot more towards the ladder and laddering a bunch. Oh, wow, that's interesting here. YoDa. I mean, he's up against an MC who's known to play aggressive, but on this map, can you really open Blink and go for the aggression?
But
it's much harder, so hiding a CC like this, as long as you're not up against a 2 base,
I guess he's going to fly over to the top natural, right? The top left natural, I guess, because...
Oh, he might have made it there if he wanted to do that. Actually, the Reaper...
But if he'd have done... well, I mean, maybe this Reaper was looking for a probe and
I can't believe the Reaper might find a probe here.
This has got to be some kind of level of mind games in terms of how these guys know each other. I mean, knowing that's there and being able to catch it. YoDa always knows that MC is going to have a probe on the map somewhere, and he does find it, denies it, and now that command center is going to go hidden for a while.
You know, I mentioned Blink not really being a super viable opener on this map, but this is MC here. Obviously, if there is anybody who could still open Blink, that's him. And he's going for Blink. So I guess it's either for something like a 3-gate Blink to play defensively and then maybe take a quick third or something like that, and then later on already have the tools to defend against the potential drops that could hit his natural, which again is the weak point on this map. And I feel like these positions is not nearly as bad for MC as if you will be, say, to the top left, where you really have direct access in terms of medivac dropping as the Terran.
And he dropped a scan and he saw all the Chrono Boost into the Twilight Council as well. So that is going to give him a bit of a heads up as to what's going on. So at least he gets the information. He also knows that all of the gas is being committed there. So is there going to be a robo as fast as it would normally be in a standard game? Probably not. I
really like that YoDa went for 3 barracks, by the way, with this. If he had done just 2, even against like some 3-gate aggression and not necessarily super aggressive play, aka just not an all-in, he could have taken a lot of damage against the doubling play of his opponents. So now he's got to feel confident right now. Already opening with 3 barracks, you know, it's a little bit of a win. And he sees a little bit the amount of Stalkers. I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing defensively. And you're right, he flies the orbital command to that location in top left-hand side.
Going to be so hidden for so long. So unless MC can really kind of weed this out and get some scouting information himself, it's going to be difficult, because right now, because he didn't have a robo, because he didn't have an observer over there, he doesn't know the progression of his opponent's tech. And if he'd have seen it a little bit delayed, he could have maybe inferred that there was a command center, extra one even. But for now, he is playing a little bit in the dark and just going for an aggressive move.
No stim pack. It's not even halfway through dawn, so that's going to be something, I guess, going for MC. He might try to can he blink in there, actually? Oh, okay, I guess he can.
Ooh.
With just 2 Stalkers at first to try and snipe some SCVs.
Very nice start.
Oh, so I didn't think you could blink from there. I guess it's like on Star Station.
And because YoDa was so far out of position, not really expecting something like that, gets out. Very nicely done there by MC.
It's like on the habitation station. Remember, actually, you could actually blink from that gold base into the main. We saw Crank do that.
And on Nimbus, though, you just don't expect it, really. That's why his units were so far out of position, expecting a frontal assault from this kind of blink play. So really nice start there by YoDa. Even though it only killed just a few workers, it was enough to give him a slight edge, but he still doesn't have the command center in the top left, of course.
Ooh, big scan in the main from YoDa. He's going to be able to see that there is a Colossus transition out of MC. And, you know, not seeing any Forge here, I think he should know by now that there's probably going to be a quick throw. So YoDa right now, he's seen everything he wanted to know. And already being up to 3 bases, he just has to make a few additional barracks. And he's going to be able to make a lot of bioforces very soon and have enough medivacs to start dropping left and right. But MC's drop defense, when he has Blink Stalkers, is just very, very good. So it's going to be hard for YoDa. I feel like on this map, though, some things that kills Protosses very often, and does very well against Protosses in general, is basically looking for a weakness in the defense by trying to cause a mistake. Like, for example, you snipe 1 or 2 observers, usually you're not going to have that many observers as Protoss. Right now, MC only has 2 and he's making Colossus, so I think he's going to quit at 2. So if he sniped that one, YoDa, he could go with his entire army around the 3rd base, make sure there's no observer left, and then go for a drop on the natural. We've seen that happen before. I think it was Polt recently, maybe against Sparting at the Battlegrounds, who did something like that, where he killed an observer and he knew that the Protoss would have to come back with everything on the 3rd, so then he dropped the natural with like 4 medivacs and just killed the Nexus instantly.
Clever moves. I mean, MC at the same time, he already knows that there's a 2nd starport going down and will be finished up soon. He sees all the production, but still hasn't really weeded out the idea that a 3rd is fully down. I mean, he must assume, he has to assume that that's the case after seeing this level of production, but...
You know, YoDa, through his great scouting and all that, he's basically forced MC into playing a standard game so far. He's just going Blink and Colossus. He's not been allowed to be super aggressive. He's already gone up to 10 Stalkers, no upgrades. Still no Forge for MC. There is a chance... Oh, YoDa just canned the Observer. I think... Does he pull the boys here? When he has enough Vikings? It's 4 Vikings right now.
4?
Yeah, he's got 4, but he's making them 3 by 3. Didn't choose to make an add-on. So I guess when he reaches like 10, because he's going to reach 7 soon. When he reaches 10, if he pulls the SCVs and goes for an attack, this could be deadly. But it looks like YoDa might want to start another CC here. He's placed an SCV around... he's just going to take another base. And MC's trying to proxy some pylons. MC, since he's not going for any upgrades, he wants to be the one that's aggressive. This might play right into YoDa's hand, who immediately cancels the force base and sets up for defense.
Well, army supply slightly in favor of MC here, as he's just powering everything into that, looking for an aggressive position in front of these bases. But again, he still thinks that, well, I mean, he kind of has to assume something else is going on.
MC is trying to bait some kind of counter drop into the natural. Look, he's left a lot of Stalkers there.
Oh, you're so
right.
But
YoDa doesn't take the bait, at least not in the natural. He's going to attack the 3rd base instead. So MC took a little bit of a gamble here. And I feel like we're going to see the first dead Nexus in this game, maybe in seconds.
Now he realizes it. He's going to have to get over here very, very quickly to actually deal with this. A few Stalkers blink on down, and he should be able to save it. Is he Uh-oh, this is getting very, very close. This is getting very, very close. He doesn't even care. He actually brings down the third Nexus. A great pickup there by YoDa. Gets out with this medevacs. A little bit of an inception. Tries to get one medevac. Doesn't in the end. And that's going to set MC back.
Yeah, he lost quite a bit of supply, but at least he got that third Nexus, and now he's on 3 bases. He has more workers. He has more upgrades. MC behind this says, well, I know that behind this, you basically are going to expect a big all-in out of me, so I'm going to do the opposite. He starts double Forge, Charge, and Templar Archives as well. So he's basically going to do a transition into Charge Load Templar. YoDa even scans everywhere. Oh my god, his scans have been so good this game. He just makes sure he knows where MC is, and he knows that MC is pulled back right now. He should be able to read, again, as soon as possible, directly into what MC is doing. And I think if he goes for an attack here, he has enough Vikings already. He's pulling the boys.
Here come the
boys.
Time. It's time. YoDa has a fantastic army here. He might be able to crush through MC because of the power he had behind the third base, because of the lack of income that MC had from
MC supply
having his
blocked.
third base
He
die.
needs some Archons. He needs more supply. He's not even going to have Charge or 1-1. Look at the production tab.
YoDa's played out this game very, very well so far. Can he seal the deal with this attack? He's trying to Chrono Boost out Charge quickly. There's not too many Zealots. They're at the back, so they're not in the best of positions as MC now is on the ropes. He has to pull away. He can't even get to the Vikings himself. He loses a Colossus as well as Mothership Core.
Ooh, I'm not sure he can go up the ramp. YoDa hesitating a little bit right now. There is, I guess Charge is going to finish, but I mean, MC's already lost a bunch of supply. If you look at the supply, YoDa is just so far ahead. 132 in army against 102, but he has the SCVs as well.
Exactly. So much power behind this army here for YoDa as he's trying to power him forwards.
MC's might be able to complete 1-1. Oh no, I think YoDa's going to go up the ramp, but there is Archons now.
Holding at the ramp is the most important aspect here, but can he deal with all the Vikings? There's too many Vikings. They kill off the Colossi before anything even occurs during this fight, and that's going to give this bio so much room to do tons and tons of damage to this almost exclusively gateway force. 1-1 isn't even completed here for MC. It's on the verge, but he doesn't have it in time. YoDa takes a massive, massive supply lead.
I don't think he has enough force fields. That army is going to move up the ramp. YoDa with double the army supply now.
Powering through. There's really not many force fields left over at all. A ton of bio doing massive damage. Not that many more Zealots. He's trying to hold on valiantly at this ramp, but it's not going to be enough as the bio just walks on forwards, targets down the Immortals as well. And MC's time in game number 1 is shortly coming to an end. He's trying to hold on with more Zealots warping in, but the army supply is massive in favor of YoDa here, and the rest of the Zealots go GG. Game number 1 goes to YoDa. Very impressive start here from our young Terran.
This is as close a game as you're ever going to see of basically being perfect in terms of scouting from a Terran. Just perfect scans. Got a little bit fortunate, I guess, with the way the MC, you know, placed his buildings, being able to catch that first Twilight, and later on the Robo Bay. MC didn't really put any effort into hiding that, which could have changed a lot. I mean, if you're YoDa, you scan and then you see Blink, you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna stay at home and defend. The next time you scan, you see the Robo, you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go double starports, and then maybe later pull the boys. Yeah, this just was good execution and scouting from YoDa and MC, just maybe not putting his best effort into hiding what he was doing. If your opponent knows everything that you're doing, he's not really supposed to lose, except if he makes a big mistake, which in this game, there was no big mistake. You know, he pulled the boys when he had 2, when he had enough Vikings already to take out the 3 Colossi, because again, MC quit Colossi production after just 3. Didn't go for a 4th, 5th, or even 6th one, which could have helped a lot, you know. I mean, even if there is 10 Vikings, you can snipe those and then still have a bunch of Colossi alive. But in this game, just YoDa, even though he used some scans, he was just so far ahead economically with that quick third. He even had like 60 SCVs against 55 probes for a very, very long time. That's when they both cut. So he had way more economy, and yeah, he just powered through with this massive attack he went for.
It was a good start here for YoDa, a person that in this series a lot of people are looking at as the underdog. MC with his win record against Terrans is phenomenal, but YoDa has shown in this first game that he can do it. He can strive for more against arguably the master of their house over at the Global Esports Management House. So MC's got to be a little bit riled, but I suspect we'll see more tricks and cunning trickery out of MC, because he has a lot of things up his sleeve.
MC has had some trouble these days, just performing in general. You know, he dropped out very early from the most recent DreamHack.
Yes, he did.
In Stockholm in group stage number 2. Losing to, I believe, Space Marine and Patience.
His Protoss versus Protoss has always been the hindrance in his game.
Yeah, I lost to him last season.
Apart from against you, I guess. Sorry,
Jesus.
I had to do it. But overall, it's not got as strong a win record as his versus Terran and his versus Zerg. That's where he's always been able to propel himself forward. And we even saw that in the previous round as well, where he... Unfortunately, you know, he had a little bit of a struggle. He didn't necessarily power out of the round of 16. It was a little bit of a struggle, having to initially lose to Stardust and then coming back through the general curse of the second series.
But usually, the round of fate, you know, these last 3 rounds, round of 8, round of 4, and finals, is where he shines the most. And here he just didn't shine at all. Just kind of was forced into playing standard by YoDa, who just wasn't making mistakes. Did a little bit of a ballsy move, you know, with that command center, but I really like the way he covered all his bases, you know, and went for the check on the top left-hand side for the probe, knowing that MC probably likes to keep that probe out on the map, hidden somewhere, and didn't leave anything to chance.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the spawning positions, right? Where else is that probe really going to be hiding? Is it really going to be down in the bottom left? Not too often during this kind of scenario. So Nimbus does go the way of YoDa. We're just waiting to get into the second game here in a second.
YoDa is channeling the force, man.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I think he could do it. I really do think he can do it. Overall, a lot of people are backing MC, and I had to, in my fantasy league, I had to also back MC, even though I put in my article that I was backing YoDa as kind of a little bit of a wild card, a bit of spice there. So that was a little bit of a conflict in my mind going on for a while, but YoDa taking that first game was good.
In MC's defense, this is... I think Nimbus is definitely one of the more difficult maps to play on in terms of Protoss versus Terran. You know, I had this one time I was talking with Oz, and he used very, very harsh words about the map, saying, how does Protoss ever win on this map? So, yeah, it can be pretty tough. But now we're going to be on Overgrowth. Definitely a lot more of a standard map, you know, that's been figured out, and where if you're MC here, you can definitely play with something different, you know, do some gateway aggression, even sometimes do something crazy like take the gold base, take a very quick third. It was a little bit of a zest build in the previous game that he did, but it felt really forced, you know, in the way that he just opened Blink, saw it was going to do nothing, so then went into Colossus, saw it was going to do nothing, and this just wasn't MC's best game, you know, in the first game. Everything that happens.
Yeah.
We could see a Stargate, you know, too, on Overgrowth. Like, really anything's possible here. Again, this is a map where both of them are going to have a ton of experience on.
But will YoDa be looking out for it? That's the big question. Let's get into it then. Game number 2 between YoDa and MC to find out who's going to be moving on to the round of 4. Best of 5 series as a whole. Let's start to the bottom left-hand corner with our blue Protoss. It is MC. Crowd's loud, crowd's loud. And up to the top right, we have our red Terran. Currently 1-up, representing TCM. It's YoDa.
Actually, I think this is a map where we've even seen MC go for something like Immortals on this map. Remember? He went for a few Immortal busts in there. I think there was a season, might have been last season, where Grubby tried it, didn't make it work, and then later on MC did it and made it work. Maybe against MMA or something. So it's definitely nice to see when MC's execution, you know, is on point with the force fields and everything. But now, I really feel like nowadays, you know, playing standard against Terran is very difficult. They figured out a lot more when to drop, when not to drop, how to defend most all-ins. You know, all-inning too has become a lot more difficult. Much like, you know, every player from any race, their mechanics get better over time because they keep on playing. Especially Zerg. You know, Zerg is all about speed. You know, Chris spreading and injecting. A lot of players nowadays inject as well as pro players were injecting a while back. The same thing goes for defending all-ins. A lot of all-ins have been figured out, and most players know how to scout for them and know how to defend them exactly. So they've been getting weaker and weaker, and that's for everybody too. Protoss all-ins, Terran all-ins. So I feel like it's less likely we're going to see this crazy side of MC just trying to go for pure all-ins and making them work.
And but it's a really good point that you bring up, because let's face it, as much as MC, yes, can bring out good macro games, a lot of his success in the past, in this matchup as well, has been based off, you know, very, very aggressive play, very, very strong, like 2-base plays, even proxy plays and things like that. So all the Terrans like tightening the bolts and really kind of oiling the machine, as it were, makes it all the harder for a player like MC who thrives on the aggression.
I think that MC, actually, he if he tried to play standard and just add a little bit of a spice, you know, to his play, just like make sure he always has a War Prism out on the map, that he's dropping left and right while macroing, I think he would do very good, but it doesn't seem like he likes to play that way all that often, to be honest. Which, again, in a previous game, you know, like I said, he did go for something like a Zez build, you know, where you get the Blink, Colossus, no Forge. Ooh, nice snipe.
Yeah, very
SCV.
nice.
But what he was really missing was a War Prism, I think, to drop here and there and to try and do some damage as he keeps on, you know, taking another base, maybe tech to something. He wanted to go for a timing. That's why he didn't get the War Prism. But in the end, YoDa just too solid, identified it quickly. And when you're up against MC, you can definitely anticipate these kind of attacks coming.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about the War Prism play. I think it really keeps Terran on their toes unless they're totally locked down back at home. It can really put a thorn in their side. But for now, YoDa gets all the information he needs to. There was a little bit of a block there before, slows him down just an inch. And then from there on, YoDa's going to go back into standard build from here. But he has changed it up slightly. He's going for factory after barracks, whereas previously going for the 3 barracks and then onwards from there.
And I really like that he made the bunker quickly as he did, because he saw Zealot. He knows there's the potential for Zealot Stalker and even Mothership Core, you know, to follow this up for a very dangerous attack. So he gets the bunker on time, just to make sure he's safe. And behind this, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a starport, probably some Widow Mines, you know, for some drops here and there, and MC. I don't know that he's going to be able to realize early enough what this is, so he's going to have to be careful. If he doesn't realize this is coming and he's out of position for just 1 second, and then Widow Mines burrow into his middle line, he's going to be in trouble. In this game, I'm feeling like he's going to go for a Robo, and, you know, and fairly standard, but with MC, you never know. You know, he might just pick to make a Twilight here in a second, and then could be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have the Robo when those Widow Mines come along, then you're going to have a bit of a more difficult time actually being able to clean that up. There's the Robo on the way here for MC, as you did call. And I like this from MC. You know, after the first game, trying something a little bit tricky. I think it's more difficult on a map like Nimbus because there's not too much room to blink up and down, But from here, just going into a more standard game, MC can still play this out very strong. So previous game was a feel-out game, didn't really work out too well. MC is now going to go back to true, tried, and tested.
YoDa forgot to start his Medivac for quite some time here. I was looking at his starports. This was delayed a little bit. He did have the gas. I guess he was busy out on the map, maybe managing his Reaper or starting some units. But that means he's going to delay the attack a little bit. But regardless, I do think that MC is going to be okay. Like, usually the way you handle that attack is you basically tell your Stalkers they're going to defend either the natural or main, and you leave the Photon Overcharge to defend the other base. But the thing is, if that Medivac manages to get close enough to the middle line, regardless of if there are units and even Photon Overcharge there or not, they will burrow, and then they will prevent a lot of mining time. It's going to be super annoying for MC to demine. And look, he's going for an Immortal. Again, this is the map where we saw MC in the past do this. I've mentioned it a little bit earlier. He's going for an Immortal and then the Robo Bay behind it. So I'm starting to feel like MC, he wants to go for a Colossus bust here on 2 bases with just 1 Immortal, 2 or 3 Colossus, probably with Thermal Lens and something like 6, 7 or even 8 gates. And not starting an Observer. I really hope for him he's going to start one after that Immortal, because he doesn't even have units in position in his main.
Yeah,
the Mothership Core is far.
He didn't even have a pylon up to the top left to even
spot
this. He
starts a Colossus.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
This is going to get really, really bad. He has no detection at all. He now needs to make... There you go. He has to cancel the Colossus, Chrono Boost this out, but this is going to deny so much mining time.
He's going to lose so much. Look at the... If you look at the income, he's dropped down to 500 right now, to 1,300. And
look at that, though. YoDa is so kind of patient with his play. He's like, well, you know, if this isn't going to do anything, I don't want to sacrifice these units at this point. I'm happy to just leave, keep these guys alive, and keep them as a threat elsewhere.
Yes.
Which is very, very nice.
And he did see the Robo Bay, which is big here.
Yeah.
Not having to scan, you know, and just getting the info, losing absolutely nothing behind this YoDa, just playing its, you know, standard, just making units, getting his +1 going. And what's going to be interesting is whether YoDa goes for a 3rd command center before making additional barracks. I mean, ideally, he has already seen the Robo Base, so if he's able to somehow anticipate there could be a 2 base, I think the good choice would be to go for additional barracks before.
Pokes in, sees that there's too many units there to be able to burrow.
And he saw the Immortal, so I think YoDa right now is really trying to get the info on what exactly MC is doing, and if he somehow realizes what's up, he starts the 3rd CC.
Uh-oh. That could hurt. That could hurt. The next Colossus is on the way here.
Big gateway explosion.
That is a lot of gateways.
It's a 2 base.
Yeah, well.
Has to be.
That's what MC likes to do. We see it a lot. But YoDa, are you prepared for it? Because in the end, YoDa knows how MC normally plays. So how is he going to prepare for this? Right now, that third command center on the way isn't really going to help him out too much. If he survived, then yes, of course, he'd be in great shape. But will he survive is the big question. Because right now, he doesn't have that many Vikings at all.
Oh man, that third Colossus starting now, and MC is actually sending a probe out on the map from the left-hand side. This could be caught by that one Marine. If this is killed, you know, if you can't reinforce with this attack becomes so much weaker, YoDa's gonna have to react quickly. Oh, he sees the pylon. This is a big tell. He actually just scanned back at home and killed the observer. He's starting an additional bunker here. I think YoDa needs a lot of bunkers here, and he needs to make sure he only makes Vikings here from now.
Exactly. MC, like, YoDa knows about it, but does he have the tools to hold this off? Because only having 2 Vikings out right now with 2 extra on the way, it might not be enough firepower. There's not that many gateway units.
His Widowman dropping at the same time, and this forced MC actually to leave a lot of units back at home. Even if this is not going to kill anything out of YoDa, he's bought himself some time.
Yes, he has. This could rise the Viking count.
He's moving out.
Is he actually going to push this back? He's brought some SCVs with him as well. He's chasing this away. And if you can get that pipe, well, I mean, there's another pylon down to the bottom right as well. Getting the mothership core wouldn't be too bad as well.
Whoa, YoDa getting a little bit overeager here.
Gets it. Getting that mothership core now means at the front there won't be any time warps there to be able to slow this down. So this will make the defense a little bit easier.
YoDa's going to be on 6 Vikings here very soon, and it already feels like this timing here by MC has expired. And I know he's pulled this off in the past with some good force fields, but look, he's going into a Twilight Council. MC is already transitioning.
Yeah.
YoDa has been so good this series so far in terms of just realizing what he's up against and countering it, or at least making sure, you know, he doesn't take any damage.
Well, it's a great point you bring up. I mean, he's on lockdown now. That third command center at the beginning of all of this, yeah, I mean, you know, a little bit risky in terms of how he would try and hold off, but because he bought the time back at home, drops a scan, sees everything going on, what is MC supposed to... I mean, YoDa is playing from a really good position here, surely.
This is the double forge. This has to be depressing for MC. Every time he starts take buildings, magically YoDa scans and sees what he's up against. At this point, I really feel like he should start playing the mind games and just cancel this and go for it anyway.
I mean,
even though it wouldn't work.
He's flying his third command center now over to the third location. He knows he's safe to be able to take this base. The only thing he needs to clean up is these pylons to make sure like zealot harassment doesn't come in. And from there on out, he should be completely fine with his unit composition.
And YoDa, he knows what kind of build he's playing against. I mean, he knows exactly what he's playing against. And you know, he's not going to play it too greedy. He's going to get his upgrades going. He's going to make sure he keeps on making units. And look, he started a second eBay, an armory, a Ghost Academy. He wants to cover everything that he can. He's still making Vikings out of 1 starport, and you know, he's already almost reached the count of Colossus that he needs to be able to deal well with Colossus, so I agree with the choice of not getting a second starport. He's getting 3 Ghosts. I think he's gonna pull again.
He could go.
He knows he's far ahead enough and he's defended well enough the first few timings by MC, and by that I mean not even with fighting, just with making sure he doesn't take any damage, that if he went for a 3 Ghost SCV pull, I think he just win the game.
But if he started that engineering bay as well as armory, right? Like it kind of doesn't exactly line up with the idea of an SCV pull, I guess, because he's committing so much to those 2 upgrades. But there is the opportunity. I mean, he's very aggressively positioned right now. I guess he's looking for cancellation on the third.
Yeah, he could actually just fight with this, leave the SCVs back at home, trade this army for basically resetting the Colossus count. The thing is, MC is just so good at massing those units, just to make sure that he can defend all those kind of attacks. So right now, if YoDa was to go for it, he will be trading, I'm not sure the most cost effectively, but I guess, okay, he's just gonna wait for the 3 Ghosts, and he's gonna take that position. Oh, he barely misses the Observer.
Oh.
He's gonna take that position where you can put the Vikings on the high ground over there to snipe the Colossus, which is, it's very hard to deal with this. But MC is going to have the photon overcharge, and he's actually placing himself very well to try and defend this as well as he can.
Looks like a really good position here. Gets 1 Colossus already. The Vikings are just going to keep flying on forwards as he gets a 2nd Colossus. There's only 1 remaining. If that falls, then a lot of this bio has not had big damage done to it.
And there is only 2 medivacs, and already what Steam was forced for a long time, so YoDa might have to pull back here. And he's lost his entire, well, not his entire Viking count, but he's lost a bunch, even though he has reset the Colossus count.
Yeah. At least
killing this army is going to take a long time.
Yes, it is. At least MC has also access to Storm coming up very soon as well. So I imagine he's, you know, spending Chrono Boost into that, getting that out, because he really wants that as his AoE damage here. As there's been so many Immortals mixed into this army, 4, actually.
And you know, he lost his Ghost, most of all. And now there's Templars on the field, Storm's about to finish. So MC, with the positioning here on his natural, just made sure that he was a lot more cost-effective than YoDa. And I mean, YoDa still far ahead in supply, but with the first few Templars here entering the field, where there is 2 right now out on the map, and Storm being finished, if this big chunk of army of his gets Storm, he's going to be in trouble. And oh, the Observer.
I don't think it saw it. I don't think it saw it. It was very, very close.
Oh, he saw. Look, he's replacing.
Okay.
Oh, no. He's hesitating a little bit.
Yeah, he's sending quite a lot back there. He should be fine. But in the end, I mean, this is the cool thing. When you watch a player like MZ, it really shows why he is like champion level caliber.
Yeah.
Even though he lost the previous game, going into this game, he threatens and looks for opportunities to do big damage, but then can transition out. Here we go, though. Will he be able to do anything here? That's a lot of army. He has to get out of there. There's no way he's going to be able to do too much. Likewise, on the right-hand side, MC has split himself up very, very nicely here, so he should be able to push that away as well.
I really like the way YoDa is being careful of everything in the details as well. You see he's 2-2 finished. He starts the +3 ASAP for his infantry forces. He left 2 Vikings on the right-hand side of the map just to make sure no War Prism will fly in there, plus the factory for vision. This is just great execution overall. He's getting personal cloaking. YoDa, actually both of them are maxed out now, and I expect basically fights to take place here very soon, with YoDa trying to trade well enough that he can finish the game with the reinforcements.
There's actually not that many High Templars out. There's just 2 in the main base, 2 in this army. He's warping in 3 more, realizes that that number is kind of low.
No Colossus were remade, by the way, which against this big bunch of Bioforces you need. And YoDa actually, he quit making Vikings, realizing that MC probably was not. This is a massive mind game here they both have played, and YoDa, I really feel like he's got the better end of this. So right now, MC's only hope is basically going to be hitting perfect storms. And look, the Observer, he's gonna get sniped here.
Nice.
There is, I think, no Observer. There is no Observer alive here for MC against somebody who has personal cloaking. MC should be able to know that. He starts another Observer, but YoDa's gonna hit the timing before that finishes.
Uh-oh. If he loses any units at the front, that's gonna be a bit of a disaster for him. Has to keep those alive. Only 1 Stalker goes down, not too much. There's a lot of High Templars now here, though, around 5 at this location to try and hold on against this.
I think he can just wait for personal cloaking, try and get a snipe on these cannons here. I mean, the Observer is now going to rejoin the army for MC, but if it goes too deep...
Trying to move forwards with these Ghosts again, looking for anything he can grab. Doesn't get too much. Storm lands, but really doesn't hit too much. And there is personal cloaking, just about to finish up. Only 1 Observer with this army at the moment.
YoDa sees that MC is still on 3 bases, and then he wants to take a 4th, so he's going to pull back here for a second. And he cannot wait for too long. He's making a nuke.
Looking to control some space, I guess, or even do big damage, regardless of that fact. He still needs to keep dancing at the front. Tries to land an EMP, gets a lot of those sentries.
MC moved out here for a second. YoDa would love to fight. He would love MC to move out and then just take a good fight. And he's going to go for the fight.
Oh, a few EMPs hit those High Templars on the left-hand side. Has to be very, very careful, though. There's 2 High Templars on that left that need to be hit. Doesn't get the EMP on one of them. Tries to cloak up forwards, runs forwards, but loses quite a few of those Ghosts. But there's not that many Storms left here.
Yeah, there's none, actually, I think.
Yeah, he's got to be very, very careful. This is a great army here. This is a great position for YoDa. There's just no Storms. MCs wants to Storm, but he can't. He has no access to it. The Immortals are going to fall down, and YoDa's army powers through this location. Wow, YoDa on top of the Nexus gets that as well. Great play by YoDa. Absolutely great play. He's even the Ghosts bringing down these High Templars. They were actually called the High Templars during that. There was no Observer to spot the Ghosts.
He's trying to get Colossus behind this, but I mean, the damage has been done already. YoDa's just going to be able to close this out here.
Wow, wow, wow. GG, YoDa takes a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. I can't believe it. The execution there by YoDa was brilliant.
You know, MC, it really feels like he's trying things, but he's trying the wrong things here. He wanted to go for that 2 base, and as much as in the past, you know, he's tried for some builds that didn't work and then managed to transition out of them. Like I said, nowadays, everybody's just getting too good in general for this to work. So MC, if he wants to go for a 2 base, even if he sees that it's unlikely to work, as in he's not sure it's going to work, which is a change, you know, because for most of his career, when he went for this kind of build, it kind of always worked in the past. He still needed to go for it. And, you know, he backed out, he got afraid, he saw that YoDa was going to be ready for this. He didn't maybe hide his build as well as he would have liked to. And then in the end, just having to pull back, to go into late forges, to go into storm and all that, it was just, everything was too little too late. And then YoDa from there just gets ghosts, keeps on playing solid, gets the snipe and EMPs that he needs. No storm. I don't think any storm hit his army, and in the end...
No, not really.
If you're maxed out on Bioforces, there is no Colossus to counter you and no storm hit your army.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, you're never going to lose.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a problem there for MC. And again, the right EMPs hit. The High Templars on the left-hand side were zoned down. And that cloak at the very end to get the couple of High Templars that could have been the saving grace, that actually brought down those High Templars with good energy at the very, very end, was really, really nice. So very, very well done there. Very well done by YoDa, who now takes a 2-0 lead over the Master, as it were. And one more away from advancing on to the round of 4. Terran's looking good so far to start things off.
King Sejong Station. If there was to be a comeback to be ignited, I think this would be a good map to start it on, man. Lots of potential blink builds here. MC, this is again definitely one of the maps he's played a lot on in the past. You know, these two, I think they've played so much ladder these days. Like I look at it, they're like, MC's rank 2 and YoDa's rank 4, so definitely got a few games in on those maps, as in a lot. And rank 3 against rank 41, the WCS World Rankings, well, didn't really look that way. Look the other way around.
Yes,
those
it
first
did.
2 games.
YoDa's currently 2-0 up. He can't get to BlizzCon, but he'll give it a damn good shot to win WCS Europe. As we have that man spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. It's our red Terran representing TCM. It is YoDa. And up to the top left-hand corner is going to have to do some reverse all-killing, as it were. It's our blue Protoss. It is MC.
After seeing those first 2 games, I think it's safe to say that YoDa prepared very well. And I was talking a bit with Arstem actually earlier, and he was telling me that YoDa has been practicing with the Dodge God. Not sure who he was talking about.
Oh dear.
And that was probably going to help him. And you know, I guess it's showing his preparation here, because if you think about it, when you play against somebody like MC, where is the secret to victory in, really? I guess it's in seeing what he's going to throw at you and being able to defend it. And so far, perfect in the first 2 games. Now, in that 3rd game, MC goes for a little bit of a funky positioning on his gateway. I guess he wants maybe to pretend that he's perhaps proxying and at the same time make sure no Reaper can go up there and go into his main. Whereas YoDa, he's going for gas first. So we're going to have a quick factory here. I wonder, you think Hellions? Or does he want to go to a starport quickly?
Yeah, could go Hellions, could go Hellions. I mean, the Hellion kind of marine plays that we see and have seen a lot of on this map in particular can be pretty deadly. So unless MC is really kind of covering himself on every angle, he could take damage.
And this is the first time that MC doesn't scout, which is very unfortunate. I mean, against Gas First, you need to know that there is a Gas First. In the previous game, it already happened. You know, he scouted early on, but then didn't put any effort into doing any kind of follow-up, be it with a Stalker checking the wall, or even taking the watchtowers, or making some pylons on the map to see that Medivac coming. In the end, what did happen? A Medivac just basically dropped some Widow Mines in his mirror line, and he was already in trouble back then. So now, he has not gone for a scout. He's going to face factory units, possibly starport units, very early on. He's not going to see it coming at all. And I think MC is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the Zealot's already on the way to try and deny anything that would be blocking there, so we'll eventually cancel it. But MC overall is playing a standard game. Goes down here, sees no SCV, sees no engineering bay, can happily cancel Zealot and just make that Nexus very fast. But from there on out, this probe, will it even get any information? There's just going to be Marines denying, surely.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be able to. Maybe if YoDa plays it sloppy, but look, he's just going to put that Marine on top of the ramp. And very important, there's going to be a second one. If there was just one, the Marine might have been able to reach that natural and see that no CC would have started, which is a massive tell. Whereas now, I think he's not going to see anything. Actually, no, he's not going to see anything.
Marines should be able to deny.
YoDa is making a single Hellion, by the way, out of that one factory. Oh!
That was very close. Very, very close.
I think,
Let's check it, Funka.
He might kind of know.
Yeah, I think it's just on the verge, so he technically should know.
He's going for a follow-up, which I really like here.
Yeah.
So the Mothership Core is going to reach the natural, but actually, he might see the Hellion in the middle of the map before that. In which case, I mean, you need to have that back at home.
That's a big tell itself.
Oh, he's going to boosting out the second Stalker.
Yeah, it has to
MC is going to try to block the ramp.
Certainly has to be able to try to deny this.
And now he didn't see if there was a CC or not, so he doesn't know if it's Hellion into a quick starport or if there is a command center. Which is, I mean, if he saw the command center, he would know that there cannot be a starport for quite some time. He gets the second Stalker. on time to be able to defend.
That's cool by YoDa as well, though. Sends a Widowmine straight to the mineral line, assuming that something a little bit deceptive may be going on from MC's side of things. He does like his oracles. We've seen it time and time again from a player like MC. So YoDa, once again, is really playing to his opponent's tendencies.
MC is actually sending a probe around the map to try and dodge any kind of, I guess, Hellion, which he did confirm earlier, and try and make his way to that third base of YoDa to see if he's taking that, or maybe even proxy a pylon for some aggression, because he's dropping down double additional gateway, and still no tech. No tech at all by MC. So I guess, okay, he knows there are Marines, he knows there is at least one Hellion that was made. He might want to try and be super aggressive with lots of Stalkers, which we saw a lot in the past against this kind of build, where you go for a quick factory, just because he knows his opponent is not going to have Steam Pack, no combat shield and all that. And he's going to have, you know, units that dive very quickly from Stalkers, you know, Hellions and all that.
You know, I love the mix-in, actually, of just the one Hellion, even though he wasn't using it, like, super aggressively. But it's been because it's so mobile, he can scout out every location to be able to know if something is proxied on the map. He's confirmed, basically, that there isn't, aside from this pylon up to the top, and it doesn't go up there. But
I don't see this doing much here. I mean,
no.
MC is already up to 7 Stalkers against 11 Marines, but YoDa has gone for something that MMA won't call, I guess, the anti-MC build, where you go for 2 barracks and a factory, and you make some Widow Mines, you make a lot of bioforces, and then you hold the 2 base all in, or 2 base timing that your opponent is doing. And now he even confirmed that, so he's going to be able to start additional bunkers. Widow Mine is going to blow up a Stalker immediately and remove the shield on 2 other ones. So MC already knows that there are Widow Mines and he's in trouble, and he has had to leave some Stalkers back at home too. This aggression is going to do absolutely nothing here.
Yeah, there were a lot of Stalkers at home to block the ramp, to defend the mineral line, everything. He was anticipating so much, but just had no information, so it was very, very difficult to really thoroughly prepare for, say, the aggression that he wanted to do. There is still the pylons around, yes, but one of those is bound to die. YoDa can happily take that one down to the left-hand side, and then from there, YoDa is just playing his own game and playing it nicely.
MC has whopped in a lot of Stalkers.
He loves his Stalkers, man.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's not getting Blink. He's basically, by doing that, he said, drop me, please. Drop me, please. I'm waiting for you back at home. You're going to drop, and I'm going to kill everything, and I'm going to defend perfectly, and then I'm going to be ahead. But YoDa, that was never his plan.
Exactly.
All he took was making 1 Hellion, and he made MC the most paranoid man in the world.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that
Hellion's still alive, by the way.
Yeah, still poking around. Ooh, almost died. But he just got confirmed a little bit of the gas that was going down in the natural. Drops the scan in the main, sees the Robo now whirring away, but no Chrono Boost in it. So, but overall, YoDa's game plan, even in the previous games, wasn't really focused on huge drops to win him the game, as it were. He's just been playing so standard, so solid back at home, reading what MC has been throwing at him and reacting to it so nicely.
YoDa has cleared almost the entire map with this Hellion, by the way. That's such a hero Hellion. It saw everything, it sold the story, and now he's going to clean another pylon, which is going to supply block MC here, who only now starts a single pylon. So MC, nothing has been going his way so far in this series. He gets the Twilight behind this, might try and go into something like Charge and Templar, and usually when I say that, MC always goes into Blink. I guess he already has a lot of Stalkers, so it would make sense. YoDa, though, I'm not sure should be attacking here, because there is a bunch of sentries, and we've seen MC before have some very good defenses against these kind of attacks, but he's still leaving a lot of Stalkers in the main.
He's going to try and burrow this Widow Mine at the front. Doesn't actually have any detection here. He dropped the scan, killed off an Observer to start things off at the beginning. An Observer is on the way from the back. This is the only Observer that he currently has out.
That's MC for you. He gets Blink where almost everyone would be getting charged.
There's no units here to be able to deny this, and this is a great position here for YoDa to start things off, get some damage done, but
if he can get some medivacs.
Yeah, if he could get some medivacs, that'd be great for him, but he's actually not focusing those down. Now he does. He starts to prioritize those, needs to get out of there. That was a lot of gateway units for him to deal with.
Yeah, YoDa actually. You know, this is actually the classic mistake against MC when he plays this style. This style of opening Blink and making this many Stalkers is not durable. The time you need to be attacking is before the transition happens, because you're always going to have to transition out of this as MC here.
Yeah.
Usually either into Colossus or Templar. So a lot of players, they attack thinking, well, you know, he only has Stalkers, he's probably taking hard and he's not going to have that much. But MC always has enough in this case to defend with the sentries, zealots, and Stalkers that he has, that he's not going to take much damage. Which in this case, again, if YoDa dropped here, I think he's making a mistake. Especially Blink, you know, is closing in. It's 30 seconds away from finishing. When that finishes, he could be in a lot of trouble.
I don't think he needs to. I mean, he's going to try and just poke and prod on two sides here and try and find multi-pronged drop opportunities. But I think YoDa's previous games, you know, they were going all right for him. So he's going to try and do this again and poke away. But Templar Archives is already on the way, and he spots all of this army retreating out as well.
MC is going to be a real struggle for him to be able to secure a third base in this game against YoDa, who's already on a lot of medivacs, dropping left and right.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. It's going to be difficult because, I mean, YoDa is just, he has full map control, right?
He scans the Templar Archive. YoDa sees everything he has to see every single time. And again, this could have been avoided. If MC really put this in a corner of his base, maybe YoDa would have missed it, and then not having the piece of information here, you know, you take 2 ghosts too late, you could be in trouble against Templars. But
you can't take this third base. You just can't. Not with the position that he has. He doesn't have the tools available. The MC doesn't have the tools available to secure this right now.
It's going to be so hard, and I think he's going to want to look to start and do some drops, because I think MC just realized basically that YoDa is just going to keep on applying pressure endlessly. So if he was able to drop some Zealots in the middle line of YoDa, this could be a good way. He could start to weaken his economy, maybe force him back, or at least force his attention, you know, to be looking elsewhere while he tries to take that third base. And YoDa, I guess he's kind of given up with the aggression here for some time. I wonder what's his plan here, because he knows there's the Templar transition, so I guess he's getting a Ghost Academy, and he might wait for like 5 to 6 Ghosts to do another timing before there is Colossus to try and do a lot of damage, or maybe even finish the game. By the way, MC choosing to drop or to send the War Prism from the bottom left-hand side, we see actually YoDa expecting it on the top right-hand side, but I don't think you can fly into the main from there and have it do a lot, because it's gonna have to fly through the third base.
Yeah, very spotted very easily. Yeah. It's going to be difficult.
So I'm not sure what to think about this. I guess he's might try to fly in the main with the War Prism and send in the Zealots in the third base to tank the damage from that bunker.
He's got to find a different angle, that's for sure. This bunker should be able to hold up quite strongly against the Zealots. Yes, they do have charge, but in the end, well, try and negate the bunker by moving quite far away from it. But
MC is going into a lot of gateways, by the way. No Colossus transition in sight. He's just going to start to keep on making a lot of gateway units and rely on Storms exclusively, but 165 supply to 134. This is going to be difficult. 99 army supply for YoDa.
Ghosts are on the way as well there, though. There was a Storm to actually catch a little bit of this army, trying to dance out of them, though. Good start there from YoDa to pull away, get back out, takes a bit more damage from there, but his retreat position has Widow Mines along it, so there's no pursuing here at the moment for MC.
MC used a lot of Storms here and didn't really kill that much. He weakened units, but those are going to be held by the Medivacs, and now there is a lot of Widow Mines against no Colossus. This is going to mean trouble here for MC. I really think that YoDa, if he goes for a 6 Ghost timing, look, he's about to have 6. He's going to have personal clocking as well. It's going to be so tough for MC to somehow pull this off, but I guess he's going to rely a lot on this War Prism to try and do some damage.
Yeah, still
he has 2 Templars in it.
Oh, Storms. Oh, catches a lot of SCVs, kills a few. Not the huge Storms that he wants, but at least he's weakened them, so if Zealots want to get on top of it, they can do well as well.
And remember, since there was no Colossus made, only the 2 Vikings were made, which I guess should be enough to find this War Prism and kill it. Oh my god, actually MC.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose this with the 2 Templars inside.
He was trying to, he knew it was gonna get chased down, so I guess he was waiting back there, hoping that he would gather energy again, and unfortunately they do die for MC. So one of the tools has been taken away from him, but at the same time, it did buy him a lot of time back at home to build up this army a little further.
It's go time for YoDa here. MC has a lot of Templars on the map. He has 9 right now. He just got to 9. But YoDa, he's the one who already had 9 Ghosts. I can't believe he made this many that early.
Whoop. Tries to get us a little bit of a snipe out with a few of the units at the front there. Widowmine burrows as well to zone that out. Sees the positioning of those high Templars to start things off as the Ghosts are looking to move forwards, looking to pounce, try and find one of the Ghosts gets obliterated there by the Stalkers.
MC needs to high Templars on the map to try and manage. Oh,
he gets feedback. He gets an EMP on a lot of those high Templars there. One Storm landed, but it didn't do enough. Has to morph in an Archon. He's got to be careful.
If he comes from just one side with the Templars, I don't think he's going to hit any Storm. And MC has not prepared any kind of flank here with his Templars.
There's a few more high Templars in reverse, but at the same time, the scan and the snipes! Oh, beautiful there by YoDa. Really good control to start it off. EMPs hit that high Templars up to the top as well as those sentries.
There's 0 Templars left.
The army is fantastic here from YoDa once again, looking to plow on. He knows he can go for a killing move here. This force doesn't have too much firepower behind it, but at the same time, Zealot's coming in from the back. He's getting on top of the Immortals, so YoDa bringing those down. There's only Stalkers left. So much damage has been done by YoDa, but the reinforcements keep piling on forwards. Look at it coming. It's just a train of units here from YoDa, who says, you know, I can deal with the best of them, as YoDa doing so much damage. There's very little left here for MC. What a series played out by YoDa so far, on top of the natural. And there's only Stalkers left here, Todd.
I can't believe MC had the nerve to start 3-3, man. He's about to die.
Get out of my game, MC. YoDa showing that he is the master in this one. His ghost falls. Unfortunately, that nuke's not going to land, but GG! YoDa with the upset. A 3-0 to start things off in the round of 8. I don't believe it. What a result here from our Terran.
I think YoDa has shown us maybe it's his time here, you know? He's been on the rise for quite some time. He's been doing better and better every single time that we see him. And this series, I have to say, especially, you know, these days, Terrans, they don't scan that much. They don't try to get the info. They try to invest in that one more mule that will give them more units. This really felt right here by YoDa to try and get as much information as possible against an opponent as dangerous as MC. Always identifying what he was up against, and every time that he scans, he knew everything he was going to do from there for the next 5 minutes. You know, like now he scanned, he saw the Templar Archive, he's like, all right, you're going to die against the Ghost timing. I guess this is that simple.
I said at the beginning I felt that YoDa would be a little bit of a wild card, and I didn't even have to call him that, because look how he executed that series. Perfect information, great execution, toppling his brother in the gem house. Fantastic result there from YoDa, moving on to the round of 4. And I would say he's looking pretty good for a very high finish. I mean, top 4 is a really high finish in general, but he could go to the finals.
Already. I feel like one way MC could have won that is, you know, with Templar flanks. At this point, like I said, if you have all your Templars coming from one side, they all got sniped perfectly by YoDa with just one scan. He saw everything. Whereas if he had hit some Templars, you know, to the top right, came in from behind, hit that army with just 2 big storms, he has a much better chance to hold, and this becomes another game. You know, he can Colossus transition, he can start 3-3. YoDa just, you know, he did what he had to do, but MC did not, and MC lost.
Yeah, really, really strong play there by YoDa. Moving on to the round of 4, and without further ado, let's hear it from the winner. It is YoDa.
YoDa, first of all, congratulations to you and to TCM. You've moved on to the semi-final for the first time in WCS Europe. Talk to us about, not so much the game, but talk to us about how difficult it was to play a friend like MC.
일단 4강에 올라간 거 축하하고 이번에 같이 생활을 하는 MC 선수랑 경기를 했는데 경기 내용보다도 그렇게 친구를 만나서 친구를 상대해서 이겨야 된다는 거에 대해서 좀 힘들지 않았나. 개인 소감을 말해주세요.
일단 대진표를 딱 그 어떤 분이 뽑으셨을 때 딱 봤는데 남은 3명도 있는데 왜 하필 민철이 형이랑 하지 생각했는데 솔직히 딱 대진표 보고 가장 바라지 않는 대로 돼가지고 정말 준비하기 힘들고 그리고 좀 그랬어요. 여러 가지로.
So when the guy who did the drafting put my name to MC, I was like, really, does this have to happen? Because there were 3 other players who could play against MC, but it was me, so it was really, really hard to me to train and prepare for this match, and yeah, it was really hard.
Okay, and yet, despite how hard it was, 3-0. Explain to me how.
좀 그렇게 어려운 준비가 됐었는데 그래도 마지막 이제 결과는 3-0이 나왔는데 어떻게 된 것인지.
일단 첫 번째 맵이 님버스라 가지고 일단 제가 첫 경기만 이기면은 뒤에 맵들이 괜찮아가지고 그러니까 뒤에 맵들이 뒤로 갈수록 안 좋아서 초반에 일단 뭐 3대1 정도 예상했는데 일단 3대0으로 이겨서 잘 풀린 것 같아요. 제가 마지막 경기 하면서 여기서 만약에 지면은 이제 또 역전 당할 수도 있다 이런 생각을 해가지고 그랬었어요.
Actually, this is how I kind of prepared for the match because the first 3 maps I think were very good for me as a Terran, and I thought if I couldn't end this game with a 3-0, the last 2 maps would be really hard. So I thought I had to end it at the 3rd map.
Okay. We haven't seen you win a title since the Intel Extreme Masters, right at the very beginning of Heart of the Swarm. What has changed for you apart from joining a big team like TCM? What has changed for you? Why are you so much better now, and what kind of form do you feel like you're in?
예전에 IM 챔피언십을 이기고 나서 좀 공백기가 있고 그랬었는데 이제 다시 WCS 유럽을 하면서 좋은 팀도 들어오고 그러면서 이제 엄청 실력이 좋아졌는데 뭐가 바뀌었는지 그 시간 동안
일단 마인드 자체도 다르고 그때 우승하고 났을 때 거의 뭐 연습을 거의 안 했어요. 그래가지고 연습을 그렇게 열심히 하지도 않았고 팀을 나오고 아예 연습을 안 했기 때문에 그동안 실력이 많이 부족했었는데 지금은 또 테란 버프에 힘입어서 아무래도 지금 우승해야 될 타이밍인 것 같아요.
To be honest, after my win at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, I didn't practice as much as I do at the moment. I didn't practice, and also now I have a different mindset. I practice hard, and since I'm a really good team now, I try my best. And also because of the Terran buff at the moment, I think it's the time to win for me.
It's definitely a good time for Terrans, that's for sure. Just one final question. With your power against MC, you don't seem that happy right now. I'm guessing it's just because you've had to beat a friend, or what is it right now?
이제 MC 선수를 이겨가지고 그게 좀 마음에 걸리는지 아직 좀 행복한 얼굴 표정이 안 나오는데 그것 때문에 그런지.
그렇죠. 아무래도 그렇고 근데 이제 민철 형을 이겼으니까 밑에 대진표를 봤어요. 근데 이제 제가 질 상대가 없더라고요. 네, 그래서 이제 거의 우승했다고 보고 있어요.
Yeah, of course, I can't really laugh at the moment because I won against MC, but I saw the other bracket, like the other guys in the bracket, and I think I already won WCS. There are no other good players anymore.
Wow. Okay. YoDa with the smack talk. We love that. A bit of heavy smack talk already in game one of the day. The quarterfinal is down. YoDa has gone through against the former WCS champion by 3 games to 0. Let's see who he faces for their second quarterfinal, which is coming up next.